Dead Rail's updates are getting even worse. From changing the shop to nerfing deterrence to even adding the most useless class of all time, those are just 3 of the 5 worst decisions that Dead Rail's made in the new update, with the 5th and final decision being the worst one that could end the game. But before I start with the first decision, in my last video, a lot of you guys were clowning on me for the takes that I had. And I just want to clarify that I am not hating on Dead Rails at all. I've seen the comments on my last video and a lot of people thought that I was just hating on Dead Rails for the whole video, and I just want to say that these are just my own opinions, and if you guys disagree with any of them, then let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But with that being said, let's start off with the first decision. Number 1, nerfing deterrence. Now in my last video I said that nerfing deterrence from 100 ammo to 75 ammo was a really bad idea, and here's a short clip of me saying just that. Now I'm not the biggest fan of this change, and the reason why is because it makes deterrence less powerful than they used to be. Back then, before the new update, you could literally stay at a safe zone for a whole hour if you wanted to and farm as many enemies for money and fuel for as long as you wanted. My reasoning for how Dead Rails made a bad decision by nerfing deterrence was because people can't camp at safe zones anymore, like and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I still kind of stand by that statement. The nerfing of deterrence does make them less OP, and it does make people's time at the safe zone very limited. But a lot of you guys in the comments of that video disagreed with me heavily on that statement, and here's what you all said. This comment says, "The game takes as long as it is, so camping safe zones just makes the game a cakewalk," which, if you don't know what that means, it just means it makes the game easier, and it would be a waste of an update to make deterrence the same and give it a buff. Infinite money makes the game boring. Now honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that is a really good point, and those weren't even the only things I said about deterrence. I also said this: make deterrence reloadable. Yeah, okay, that was not the best statement to make, and looking back at it, that is a horrible idea. Deterrence should not be reloadable. There's a reason why they aren't. But even though this person is speaking facts a little bit, let's take a look at some more comments. Get back to work, farmer boy? What? The point of nerfing deterrent ammo from 100 to 75 is to not let people camp in safe zones for money and fuel. And for some reason, you literally used, "Oh, now we can't camp anymore," as a reason. This just shows how unskilled you are and completely relying on safe zone turrets and AFK instead of actually playing the game and getting the loot the way it's intended. Oh my gosh, did this guy just expose me? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that comment sold me. I probably never should have said what I said in that video, and I'm not gonna lie, I take back what I said. Having deterrence nerfed is honestly, now that I really think about it after reading those comments, isn't actually the worst idea. If you really think about it, with deterrence having lower ammo, it causes people, even me now, to move forward and progress more quickly in the game instead of just, I'm not gonna lie, just camping around and farming as much enemies and money as possible. It makes the game a lot more fast-paced and there's more tension involved. So because of those comments, I'm gonna take back what I said about deterrence, and instead of it being a bad decision, I think that it was a good decision. So bad decision number 1 isn't so bad after all. And for every bad decision that I'll be talking about in this video, I'm gonna reveal what other people think about it, and if they end up changing my mind, I'll take back everything I said. But before I move on to the next decision, you guys want to stick around to see the 5th and final decision, because if Dead Rails doesn't fix it as soon as possible, it could end the game. But moving on to the next decision, changing the shop. Now in my last video, I talked about how the new shop change was a bad idea, and here's a short clip of me saying that. Now I'm not the biggest fan of this change, And the reason why is because it's a lot more harder to use now. And here's what I mean by that. Before, if you wanted to buy an item, all you had to do was walk up to it and hold E, and that was literally it. But now you have to get the item, drag it all the way to a counter, and click on a random thing to buy it. And I'm not gonna lie guys, but I still stand by what I said. Back then, before the update, when the loot was not randomized and everybody at spawn had the exact same loot no matter what, the game was just a lot more easier back then. Personally, I just loved having the same exact loot at spawn no matter what, and because of the new update and having different loot every single game, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. Now this is a clip of me walking into the shop before the new update, and as you can see, there was only TNT, coal, barbed wire, and a torch. But now when you walk inside the shop, you get coal, lights, a Molotov, more coal, barbed wire, a lightning rod, TNT, armor, a camera, and a torch. And when I leave this game and join a new one, I get a whole new set of loot. And I even said in that last video that randomizing the loot and not giving everybody the same loot no matter what makes the game more RNG based. But a lot of people in the comments of that video heavily disagreed with me, and I'm gonna read them and let's see if they can change my mind. The shop system is actually good. Problem 1. RNG based. There are now more items on sale compared to before when just 4 items were on stock. Problem 2. Coal doesn't restock. Buy all the coal in the shop and it will restock. Okay, I'm gonna pause right there. I did say in that video that coal does restock when you buy it, but I said when you drag coal before you buy it, it doesn't restock. And I'll even play the clip right now. When you don't buy an item, it doesn't respawn. And when you have something like that happen and the item doesn't respawn, that's a huge problem. So I never said that coal doesn't restock when you buy it. I said it doesn't restock before you buy it. Problem 3. Item disappearing. It's not that hard not to drop the item. Okay, let me test. Okay, here's the tomahawk. Let me place it on the counter and oh, looks like he's right. Okay, so that guy might have been right, but let's see what this next comment says. I'll prove these points wrong. What's the point of complaining about loot at spawn? You're not even supposed to buy them yet, and they aren't even necessary in early game. Plus, coal is the only thing that you should buy at the start, and it always spawns 2 of them every single game. And about the glitch, just pick it up as soon as you buy them or use your stock to store them. It's not a difficult problem to solve. Alright guys, so after reading all those comments, I've made a decision, and honestly, I think that I was kind of wrong about the new shop. If you really do think about it, randomized loot is actually kind of a good idea. It gives the game more variety, it makes the game more fun by having different kinds of loot to purchase, and it makes it less boring compared to having just 4 items to buy. And yeah, dragging items on a counter is way more realistic compared to just holding E and having the item teleport. So honestly, the changes of the new shop was a good idea, and I take back everything I said. So that's decision number 2 marked off, but I'm not gonna be holding back on decision number 3, changing the metal sheets. In the new update, the metal sheets changed from being bought in singles to being bought in a crate in 4s. When you used to be able to buy them in singles, they would cost $20 each. And now, since you can buy them in a crate and there's 4 of them, you have to pay $80 now. And I'm not the biggest fan of that decision. Metal sheets are one of the most important items on dead rails for defense. Trains can't be bulletproof without them. You can't even survive at the end without their protection. Metal sheets are so important, and by dead rails making them more expensive, it just makes the game not fair anymore. So for example, before the update, if someone had only $50 and they needed just 1 metal sheet, they could buy it easily. But now, since they can only be bought in a crate in 4s for $80, that same person can no longer buy just 1 metal sheet, and they're left without train rain protection. So I think that putting 4 metal sheets into one crate and charging $80 for it is not the best decision that Dead Reals made. But that's just what I think, and now it's time to reveal what other people think about this. And if they end up changing my mind, I'll take back everything I said. I just wish that the metal sheets and barbed wire had their own store with a large stock, considering how important they are. Wait, can we only buy 4 sheet metal at a time and there's not even a discount? I don't like that I have to pay $80 for a sheet metal. What if I only needed 1? I hate when I only need 1 sheet metal, but you gotta buy 4. So considering that those people think the same way I do, I'm gonna stand by what I said about the sheet metals, and Dead Reals should either 1, bring the metal sheets to how they were before, or 2, let players decide how many metal sheets they want from the crate instead of just forcing them to buy 4, or 3, make the crate less expensive. So that's it for decision 3. I stand by what I said, and before I move on to the next decision, be sure to stick around for the 5th and final decision, because if Dead Reals doesn't fix it, it could ruin the game forever. But moving on to decision number 4, adding a useless class. Now in my last video, I had a lot of thoughts about the musician class, and here's a short clip of what I said. This class has to be one of the most useless classes in the entire game. And I'm pretty sure that all of you guys watching right now can agree with that. Because the banjo can only heal other people, this makes this class completely useless in solo. Alright, so those were some pretty interesting takes, but now I have something different to say. Now in that clip, I said that the musician class was useless for solo. And looking back, that didn't make that much sense. The musician class only works on multiplayer, and it's supposed to be useless for solo. It's a class that's meant for other people and not yourself. Now that was one thing that I said about the musician class that I honestly don't really believe anymore, but something else that I actually did in that last video was this. I'm gonna spam the banjo, I'm spamming it, I'm spamming it, I'm spamming it, I'm spamming it, and it did nothing. Trying to heal a teammate while they're being attacked with the banjo isn't exactly the best idea. I should have just taken out the zombie first, had my ult get hurt a little bit, and then play the banjo and see what happens. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna see if the musician class ends up being useful. And if it is, I'll end up changing my mind. So I just joined on my alt account, and we just got roughed up by a lot of outlaws, and there's 2 more right there, so I gotta be really careful. But my alt is really low on health, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the banjo and see how long it takes to heal. But I'm gonna start playing in 3, 2, 1. That honestly didn't take that much time, and it actually healed my ult to full health very quickly, but I'm still not sold on it being a useful class. So I'm gonna see what other people thought on my last video, and let's see if they can change my mind. Of course, musician class is useless on solo. It literally says that in the description. Not every class has to be beneficial, and you're not supposed to heal your teammate while they're being attacked. You should only do it when you clear the zombie or when you're temporarily safe. Now, judging by what I just did, honestly, I agree with that now. Trying to heal your teammates when you're being attacked by enemies is not the best idea, but honestly, after reading that comment, I have to say that the musician class isn't exactly useless. Yes, it takes a while to heal your teammates, but when you're playing with multiple people who do have the class and multiple people are trying to heal one person, I would say that that's when musician class is at its strongest. So that's it for decision number 4. I've completely changed my mind on it, but now it's time to move on to the 5th and final decision, the decision that could ruin Dead Reals forever: selling the game. Now, this is not a set official decision from the Dead Reals devs, but it could be something that might happen in the future. Here's a tweet from Big Games, the company that owns Pet Simulator, one of the most highest grossing games in Roblox history. In this tweet, they are proposing a collab with Dead Reals. And what that could mean is they either want to 1, just collab with Dead Reals just to collab with them, or 2, they want to buy buy the game. And I have some bad news because Dead Rails might want that. And I'm gonna be showing a tweet from the official Dead Rails Twitter account where they say something that's going to shock all of you guys. But before I show it, let's see what people thought of Big Games' tweet. Can't tell if this is real or not. How is a game about gambling and pets related to Dead Rails? Please do not add gambling to Dead Rails. Now, as you can tell, people are not happy about Big Games' proposal. I'm gonna show the tweet from the official Dead Rails Twitter account, and in this tweet, they responded to Big Games' proposal, and what they had to say in this tweet will shock all of you. Here in this tweet, as you can see from the Dead Rails Twitter account, they say collab with a bunch of question marks and a pet emoji and a vampire emoji. I have no idea what to say right now. Could this actually be happening? Does Dead Rails actually want to collab with Pet Simulator? And if that collab does happen, that could lead to Dead Rails being bought by Big Games. And if that happens, that could be the end of Dead Rails.